Hi, students, teachers, and parents. My name is Sarah Bardwell, and I'm one of the coordinators of Body of Evidence. I'm so excited to be talking to you today from the Anatomy Lab. This is the Anatomy Lab behind me here. You can see on both sides. And those silver boxes that you see are the humidors that have the human cadavers that you're going to have a chance to work with on October 23rd during Body of Evidence. So I'm here today to talk to you about what to expect on October 23rd and some of the guidelines that we're going to follow to make sure our program goes smoothly. So over here I have the agenda for the day. At 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. we're going to do an orientation. This will be a chance for you to investigate different science majors and learn from current university students at UCD what their experience has been like. From 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., we're going to do cardiovascular education. So cardio as in heart and vascular as in vessels like your arteries and veins. So we're going to have a chance to learn about the cardiovascular system using real human hearts. From 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., we're going to go to InWorks. It's a really interesting, innovative lab that's across the street, and you guys will have a chance to dissect real human hearts at InWorks. At 12 p.m. we're going to have lunch, and then at 12:30 to 2 p.m. we're going to come back to the anatomy lab where I am here now, and you guys are going to have a chance to explore real human cadavers and look at the amazing inner workings of your own body. So let's take a look at some of the guidelines that we're going to be following. If I can get this to get out of my way. All right. So one of the first things is that everybody who shows up into the lab has to be dressed appropriately or you won't be allowed into the lab. And this applies to InWorks too. So there are no tank tops, no shorts, and no open-toed shoes like sandals or ballet flats allowed in the lab. Also, no cell phones are allowed. You can have them in your backpack, of course, but no talking on your cell phone. And there's no food or drink. So if you want to be admitted into the lab, you need to wear pants that come down to your ankles or a long skirt that comes down to your ankles. You need to have a shirt like this that covers your shoulders, so no tank tops. And you need to have closed-toed shoes. So if you show up properly dressed, we're going to have a great time and we'll be able to get into all the labs. The next thing that you're going to need to do is fill out a number of different forms. So there are forms both for the lab, the UCD lab, and for the InWorks lab. This form right here, I'm going to move this over just a little bit so you can see the rest of it. This form here is a cadaver respect agreement that every student who comes into the anatomy lab must sign. So basically, you can read through this form. It says that you're going to respect the cadavers and the environment, respect the privacy of the people who donated their bodies to us. And then at the bottom, you're going to print your name here, you're going to sign here, and you're going to date it. So in order for you to come into the lab, we need to have this form printed and signed and dated. The next form that you're going to need to have is the parent agreement letter. And I'm going to pull this over just a little bit. So this is a letter to your parent or guardian that talks about the human anatomy lab and what they can expect. And because you're under 18, you're going to need to have your parent or guardian sign this, giving their consent for you to be in the laboratory. I'm just going to pull this down here. So they can read this letter. It's signed by the lab coordinator, Dr. Hannah Ankerdoki. And then your parent is going to need to print their name. Print your name here, put your parent's name here, and your parent is going to need to sign on this line and date this form. And so you also need to bring this for you to be able to get into the lab. Next, we have some paperwork from InWorks. That's where we're going to be doing the heart dissections. So this form is for you and your parent to sign. And this is a term of use agreement, so it talks about the terms and conditions of using the InWorks lab, mostly things like respect and safety. So you will read through this document, and then you are going to print your name here, sign here, and date here, and then your parent needs to sign in this blank space below. And you will also need to bring this in order to go to InWorks. And the last form, you don't need to sign it, but you do need to read it before coming to body of evidence. This is the general safety rules for InWorks. So InWorks has a lot of really expensive equipment and a lot of tools that can be dangerous if used improperly. So before you come to body of evidence, please read through all of these general safety rules for InWorks. You don't need to sign this, but it would be a good thing to bring with you if you can. So that's all of the paperwork and all of the requirements for body of evidence. There are 3 forms that you need to have signed by yourself or your parents, and then remember to come appropriately dressed so that you can get into the labs. I really look forward to seeing you all and meeting you on October 23rd. Have a great day.